Okay, we're recording. I just want to start out by welcoming everyone to our meeting. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. It's brought to you by Plexus and its ambassadors, and it is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. At Plexus Worldwide, we want you to know that the results you are about to hear may vary from we do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease. We are so excited about all of you being here, and we really appreciate y'all making the time to join us. By you being on this call, it means that somebody cares about you enough to help you feel better and to reach your health goals with the best tools out there. And tonight, we are talking a little bit about our Plexus stories and success with Plexus. So right now, I would like to introduce y'all to Devyn, one of my fellow ambassadors. Devyn, you want to tell us a little bit about your Plexus journey?
Sure. Okay, so really to get the full scope of my testimony with Plexus, we need to take it back to 2012. I was 20 years old, and I had just had my second child. He was born with a rare genetic disease, and so he spent 2 months in the NICU. He had multiple surgeries and things like that. So of course, stress level was, through the roof. Then he came home when he was about 2 months old. We had round-the-clock nursing just because of his needs. So by the time he was about 6 months old, I finally went to my doctor and I was like, oh my gosh, please help me. I need something. I'm struggling with what I thought was depression. I mean, you don't really know what depression is until you're like in the thick of it. And so I told her like how I was feeling. And so I went on some medication. I was only on it for a couple of months and, started to feel a little bit better, but wasn't like 100% great. And then I got pregnant again with my third child shortly after my second's first birthday. And so I stopped my medication because I'm really like an anti-medication kind of person, especially while pregnant, just because, I want it to be the most natural, best thing for the baby. And so I went off my medication. And so then there I was, 22 years old, 3 kids under 4. One with significant medical needs. And, I was really just treading water. I was surviving, but it was extremely stressful every day. And I've actually been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder because of what I went through while caring for my son and my other children. I was his primary caregiver because my husband had to work. I stayed home with the children. And somebody had to be here all the time, even though he had nurses. Sometimes they weren't reliable or they didn't do things, just like a mom can. So I stayed home and my husband worked nights. So we rarely saw him and I was the main caregiver. Then last April, he passed away. He was 2 years, 9 months, and 6 days old when he died. It's actually almost been 1 year on the 17th. And so after he passed away, I was completely just heartbroken, shattered. And I might get emotional. But there were times when I didn't want to be alive anymore. And I was actually hospitalized twice for suicidal ideation. I was put on so much medication, and I really just felt like I was living in this fog all the time. And it was my grief mixed with my medication, and I just wasn't in a good place. I couldn't be a good mom to my other 2 kids who still really needed me. They were still, very little. And you can hear in the background probably. They were still very young and they were grieving in their own way, and I needed to be there for that. And so You know, Marcella is the one, I don't know if y'all know Marcella, but if you do, Marcella is the one that just kept, she just kept bugging me about Plexus. And I kept seeing posts about anxiety and how it had helped her with her anxiety. And I read other testimonies about anxiety. And so I was on this really strong anxiety medication that I was having to take 2 times a day because I would just like be driving and have complete breakdowns in the car because I was terrified to drive. Like driving was one of my huge triggers for my anxiety attacks. And like it was awful. Like I was truly like I thought I was going to end up living the rest of my life that way, and it was horrible. And so those are the times when I felt like I didn't want to live anymore, which is a horrible thought because I love my children, I love my family, I have people that care about me. So then finally, after like gaining so much weight on these medications, because some antidepressants, like they just make you eat and eat and eat and eat, and I just could not stay out of the fridge, could not stay out of the pantry. I gained like 20 pounds in a month, y'all. A month, 20 pounds. It was horrible, which obviously fueled my depression even more. So finally, I was just like, okay, something's got to give. And I went ahead and I signed up with Plexus as an ambassador. Not only for, I did want to do the business side because, you know, I was kind of interested in, you know, the money that Marcella was talking about, but also just because it's, you know, the best deal. So I signed up, and then within my first week of starting on Plexus products, I started on the Triplex combo, which is the Slim, the ProBio 5, and the Bio Cleanse. Within my first week, I was completely off my anxiety medication, not taking it at all anymore. And that for me was a huge weight off my shoulders because I did not want to be medicated for the rest of my life. Like, I just didn't feel like that was the best me. And plus medication's expensive, y'all. So within the first week, I was off of my anxiety medication, and I had stopped drinking sodas. I was a 4, 5, 6 can a day of Coke drinker, y'all. And so for me to stop cold turkey, to stop drinking soda was like, what is in this stuff? Like, this is amazing. Sorry, that's my daughter. So, you know, those were the 2 things that I noticed right off the bat. And also within those first couple months, I dropped all of that weight that I had gained, plus some that I had gained from those antidepressant medications. So those have been my biggest things that I've noticed on my journey so far. I've only been in a little over 6 months. I'm coming up on my 7th month really soon. So I'm still fairly new at this. But those are my biggest victories. And I also give supplements to my children. They take the Family X Factor. They love that. I've actually tried them too, and they taste really good. So I like those a lot. And I also give them the probiotic, which is something new that I just added in, which has been really helpful. My daughter has some GI issues, and like within 3 days, and they've been so much better. So anyway, that's kind of my testimony, a really kind of condensed version because there's a lot of emotions and roller coaster and all of that involved in my story. And I really just want to end my testimony by saying that I really owe Plexus my life. Like, I've said that before, and I'll say it again. And I can't thank Marcella really enough for being persistent and, you know, not giving up and saying, you know, girl, I really just think these products would do good for you because my life is completely different than before I started Plexus. And, you know, I honestly don't know where I'd be if I hadn't have started Plexus and gotten my anxiety and my depression under control. So Plexus has been a big part of my life these last few months, and I am definitely a lifer for Plexus. So Anyway, that's the end of my testimony. And so just a little housekeeping here for compliance purposes. Plexus makes no guarantees or projections for income, as representatives may be misleading. Your success in this company depends on your efforts, commitment, skill, and leadership abilities, and how effectively you exercise those qualities. So now I'd like to introduce you to our friend and Emerald Ambassador, Amanda. Daughter. Amanda, can you tell us a little bit about what Plexus has done for your family financially?
Sure. And Devyn, your testimony was amazing. I'm probably going to cry about that later. I was trying to keep it together on this, but I'll cry about that later. So my journey with Plexus started actually in June 2014. I was a new mom and had just gone back to work and fallen asleep on the keyboard. I mean, I would have at least 3 to 4 Cokes in the morning because I didn't want to mess around with Diet Coke because I figured it would be less. So I had to go for the gold, and I wanted solid sugar Cokes. And 3 and 4 before noon. And I would wake up when my head hit the computer screen in front of me at the office, and I was just like, oh my gosh, how am I doing this? And how are all my other friends making this look so easy? They all look like these happy moms, and I felt like I was just failing as a mom. And my sweet sorority sister, Sarah Taylor, posted about Plexus Slim. I had seen her post a couple times, and my whole family laughs that I work and love this supplement company because I hate taking pills. I hate them. I just hate taking pills. And now I love them because I know how good they make me feel. But I was drawn to Plexus because it was a drink. And so I told Sarah, I was like, well, I guess I'll try it. What's the harm in it? And I was one of those people that took the Plexus Slim the first day, and the first day didn't have any more sodas, like the exact same day. It was just so painfully obvious that this stuff worked, and it was exactly what I had been looking for, that I was like, oh my gosh, sign me up. Whatever is the cheapest way to do it, let's do this. Let's go. So I signed up to be a wholesale ambassador. I think I'd been taking the brush like a week until I finally signed up to be a wholesale ambassador. And so got my welcome pack and all that stuff. But I will have to admit, I had side jobs before, and all my friends knew I always had side jobs, but I've always just liked having a second job. I have a full-time job with Apple. It is a great, great job. But I didn't want people to think that I was trying to sell them something. I was really nervous. And so I kept quiet for 6 months. I didn't tell one person that I was taking Plexus for 6 months. And one of my biggest regrets, not only did that delay my growth in this amazing company, but my best friend since diapers is on a different Plexus team because she and I were both keeping quiet and not saying anything. And now we hate it. We get to see each other at convention and at Leaders Retreat, but we're not on the same team and it stinks. So that's what happens when you keep quiet. But I wasn't ready to make it a business. So finally, I was feeling great. Everything was going great. Around Christmas time, something just clicked. And I think what it was I had done some side businesses in the past. I was doing our taxes for the side business. It was a jewelry company that I had worked with, not an MLM, but just a company. And I was doing my taxes and realizing what my profit was for 1 year with this jewelry business. And I had spent so much money buying jewelry. And y'all, look, I'm wearing rings. Like, I don't even wear jewelry. So I don't know what I was thinking selling jewelry. First off, it makes no sense that I should sell jewelry because I don't wear any. But I did my taxes, and my profit for an entire year of work, and that's hosting parties and just diving into the business and telling people like, oh my gosh, this jewelry is amazing, was 14 cents. I made 14 cents in a year. And I remember thinking, all right, I already signed up to be an ambassador. I already paid my $34.95 just to get my products cheaper. What could it hurt? I don't have to host parties. I don't have to stock product. All I have to do is take my own product. So I'm doing that anyway. There's really no way for me to go in the hole in this business. All I can do is make money. So that's what I went in with, and started sharing, started posting on Facebook. And also I think once I made my first post and realized, okay, I put myself out there, then I really built my business by talking to other moms, because I was realizing, you know, the way I looked on Facebook was, oh my gosh, everything's sunshine and roses, and it's so wonderful. And actually my husband had a really bad table saw accident in the summer of 2014 that we didn't tell anybody about on Facebook. And so he was doing great, but he wasn't able to help out as much at home as he could have. And that was a lot of stress on us. But my Facebook life that you saw was, oh my gosh, everything's amazing. Why would everything not be amazing? And so I realized other people are feeling this way. Other people look like everything's going great and everything's perfect. And you don't know who is stressed, or who has digestive issues, or who has headaches all the time, or who has brain fog, or who has financial issues. You don't know until you reach out to them and just have that conversation and build that relationship and say, hey, you know what? This helped me a lot. And if you're doing great, I'm so happy for you. You're doing awesome. But if you want to try this, try it with me. And by building my business like that, and just, you know, building relationships and loving every single part of this company, in 15 months, I was able to go Emerald, which means a very, very nice paycheck. I don't want to mess up what I can say on this of what paycheck it is, right? It's a nice one. It's more than I make at my current job. At my full-time job, I make more now with Plexus than I do with Apple. And a free Lexus and a free trip to Hawaii every year for me and my husband. So it's incredible. And my favorite thing that I always like to tell people is that my conversations with my husband before Plexus were my conversations about money were very, okay, well, how can we save for this? And all right, maybe like 5 years down the road, wouldn't it be cool to have this or something like that? And now, not only are our conversations changed to how can we save this money for the future, because we're totally taken care of now, it's more how can we give? Where can we give? Like, who can we help out? What can we do? And I think that that's really cool to just make your life go from something that you just feel like you're pouring yourself into working and working and working, and you're doing what everyone thinks is the normal way to make money, whereas then you take a chance on an MLM and your whole life turns into this servant mentality that now you're able to give, and all you want to do with your life is just help other people feel better and give more. So that is kind of what Plexus has done for us. If anyone has any questions, they can ask them, but that's about what I have.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Devyn, if you don't mind real quick, I know Amanda couldn't say exactly what she makes, but I kind of would like to share our compensation plan a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to open it. I wasn't planning. But this is something that corporate gives us. I'm going to share my screen with y'all real quick.
And I think I can say that what I make is accurate to the compensation plan.
Yes, that's
Wait.
So if you can see right here, we've got our annual ambassador income. Right now, Devyn is a silver ambassador. I am a gold ambassador, and Amanda, who just spoke, is an emerald ambassador. I'm going to just highlight that right there. For Amanda, would you say this is a part-time job, Plexus? That's a pretty good income, because you're doing this in addition to working for Apple, and my dad works for Apple, and I know that's not some, couple hours a week job.
No.
So,
and I would say, to give y'all an idea, so when I started off, I didn't want to, I'm very stern that I don't like this to be a stressful thing, because you should never have a stressful part-time job. But I would only take one lunch a week. And so for an hour a week, I worked on Plexus. And I did that for a while. And then now I work on Plexus 3 times a week at lunch and a couple hours at night. And really it's because I want to. I really like it. I really like just talking to people and hearing how it's impacting people's lives. And it brings me a lot of joy to do it. So
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing.
of course. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Devyn, you ready to share with us a bit more?
Yeah, so there are actually 11 ways that you can be paid as a Plexus ambassador. When you sell between $100 and $499, you get 15% of that commission. Once you hit 500 and over, you get 25% commission. So we always say shoot for 500 because, of course, we want to make more money. And then also you can get ranking bonuses. That's a one-time bonus. So like when you rank up each time you hit a new rank all the way up until Emerald, you get a one-time bonus, which is anywhere from $100 to, I believe, $750. Am I correct? $750 is the senior ruby. And then so once you hit Emerald and above, those are considered our jewels, and which is Emerald, Sapphire, and Diamond. That's when, like Amanda said, you get the free Lexus and the free trip to Hawaii. And then you're also entered into the profit sharing pool, which is a really cool thing that Plexus does. So you get to make even more money on top of what you're making from commissions and things like that. So let's just say you want your products to be paid for each month. You sign up as an ambassador just to get the wholesale pricing, but even better, you can get your products paid for. So you need to have 3 ambassadors sign up underneath you, and that will make you go silver. So once you hit silver, you'll get that one-time bonus like I mentioned. And that should roughly give you about enough to have your products paid for. Plus, you know, you'll have customers on top of that. And, you know, you also get a preferred customer bonus, which means like anything that's on their auto ship, every single product has a price attached to it. So if they order something every single month that they order, you get a bonus for that product that they ordered. So, and also you get business building bonuses. So depending on what welcome pack your new ambassador buys, you get either $25 or $50 depending on how much they spent for their welcome pack. So every time you add somebody new, that's, you know, no matter where you are in the company, every time you add somebody new, you're getting that bonus. So there's all these different ways to get paid. And I actually didn't even know about the business building bonus for a while. I just like logged on and it was like, oh, there's $25 in my account. So that was pretty cool that I got to see that. And now I know about it, so I can share about it. So there's more in detail with our compensation plan, but I think I hit on most of the big parts, unless there's something I missed, Lacey, or good? Okay, so now I want to introduce Kayla. She's one of our teammates. Kayla, can you share what Plexus has done for your health?
And, you know, when you have a newborn, you're always on the couch.
Hey, Kayla.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, can you start over? I had to unmute you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that, hun.
That's okay. I was barely said anything. I had a daughter 5 months ago. And, you know, when you, or those of you that do know that have a newborn, you just sit on the couch and, you know, they eat, sleep, go to the restroom, change diapers. And I just never got out of it. I tried to stay on the couch, and she was starting to want to be, you know, in her walker or on the floor. And I was still just wanting to be on the couch. And I would, you know, put her on the floor, and when she would cry, I would get upset, you know, because I just wanted her, you know, I just wanted to be on the couch. That's all I wanted to do all day. My dishes were backing up. My house was a disaster. I was making excuses why I didn't want to cook dinner. When I got pregnant, I was never a big sweets person. And when I got pregnant, I started eating like 2 pans of brownies a week, and it was ridiculous. And then after I had her, I kept on with my 2 pans of brownies. I mean, I would wake up and eat them for breakfast. It was bad. And I was so tired. I was napping every time she napped. Sometimes I would, try to get her to go down, even though she wasn't necessarily tired, because I needed a nap. I mean, it's the worst I've probably ever been. And Marcella kept posting about Plexus, and she had a daughter, and she had so much energy, and she had lost all of her baby weight. And she was just doing awesome. She had just bought a house, and she had quit her job. And I just kept kind of creeping on her and listening. And I finally asked her, and I didn't want to sell it yet because I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't want to I'm not a big Facebook poster. So I didn't want to post on Facebook because I didn't want to bother anybody. And so I just got the products, and I want to say 3 days, for sure a week, but I want to say 3 days in, no more brownies. Like, I threw the pan away. I didn't want them anymore. I wasn't napping. I was cleaning, which is ridiculous. I mean, it had been so long. My fiance was looking at me like I was crazy. And let's see. Now me and my daughter are playing constantly. I have a little 1-year-old beagle, and we even go out in the yard, and I throw the ball and run after her and chase her, which was never happening before. And also, I forgot to mention, I'm breastfeeding, and my supply had dropped, and my daughter had lost a lot of weight. And once I got on Plexus, I had 0 problems with supply ever again. I was eating a bunch of lactation cookies and drinking that mother's milk tea and all these, anything I could get down. And now I don't have to do any of that anymore. Just drinking my Plexus and my BioCleanse and my probiotic keep me full enough to feed her. So that was a huge plus. But yeah, I think that's pretty much my story. And then on the business side, I finally messaged Marcella and said, all right, I believe in it. Let's do this. And again, I was like, but I don't want to post on Facebook. Is there a way to do this without posting? And she never really answered. She just kind of introduced me to, the Facebook pages that we're on and all the support. And I just learned that y'all pretty much, Plexus has a business plan. Our uplines have a business plan in place for you. And they make it very easy if you just follow it. And it's been working out perfectly. I've already, I'm a silver ambassador now, and I've been doing it 1 month, and my Plexus products are paid for. So I'm just really enjoying it. And that's it.
Sorry there, Kayla. I'm having difficulties on my side. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know you've all heard about the famous pink drink that we all love. It regulates your blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and cleans out your gut, which we all need. You can eat as healthy as you want. But the fact of the matter is that our world is full of pollutants. Eating organic, there are still chemicals in our ground. There are chemicals in our rain and in our air. And that's all going to get into your system because we all live on this earth together. So one of the things I hear a lot of people ask me is about our ProBio 5 probiotic. And what they want to know the most is what is so different about our probiotic compared to one from Natural Grocers. Before I was on Plexus, I was taking what I thought was a top-of-the-line probiotic. It wasn't that cheap. But it wasn't doing much for me. I had just read, you need a probiotic. And so the good thing about ProBio 5 is it not only kills bad bacteria, but it grows healthy bacteria. And a friend of mine put our probiotic to the test. I'm going to show y'all a little graphic here. Okay. So here you go. Sorry, again, I'm having technical difficulties today. So what happened here is she put our probiotics to the test. And after 18 hours, the ProBio 5 had completely separated the milk, while the other two were still just the milk. The fact that it had separated the fat tells me that key enzymes of ProBio 5 are doing their job. So what a lot of us don't know is that 80% of your immune system comes from your gut. So when you get all of that healthy and you separate those fats, I'm going to stop this real quick. It is going to help you, get healthy from the inside out. My kids actually take ProBio 5 along with the X Factor chewables. When I first approached my daughter's neurologist about her taking the ProBio 5, I had brought all of these testimonials about how it could help her. She has a brain cyst, migraines, and had been diagnosed with anxiety at the age of 6. She was on a preventative migraine medication that she took every single day. And she was on, sorry, my husband's playing video games. She was also on an anti-anxiety medication, again, at the age of 6. She was, and even with the medication, she was having multiple panic attacks a day. That's not fun to see your child go through. So I brought all of these testimonials to her neurologist. He didn't need to see any of them. He knew all about ProBio 5. He works with a lot of children that suffer from autism and other neurological disorders. And, he said it is the best probiotic on the market, and he absolutely wanted her on it. A few weeks later, she was off of all of her medications and no longer having panic attacks. But this right here is one ProBio 5. And another question we get is, how do you get your kid to take this? My 1-year-old takes it, but not like this, sorry. A lot of moms mix it with either pudding or yogurt or even with just water and like a teaspoon of water and make them chug it. I did that for a while. They didn't like it too much. But what I have found works best for my kids is peanut butter. It's a good little dessert for them, somewhat healthy. And I'm going to try and do this. It's not going to work. You just open it up. It's a little capsule. I pour it on top. Whee! Making a mess at my computer. Mix it up, and they eat it right up. They love it. The best part of it is that they know it makes them feel better. They know if they miss a couple of days of their probiotic, they just don't feel as good. My oldest daughter, also had been struggling with wetting the bed still in 2nd grade. I'm sure when she's a teenager, she'll love that I share this story with y'all. But I have to say, she is no longer having potty accidents at night, which is amazing because that is a pain to clean up. And it wasn't fun for her either. So it's just a great probiotic. It's a great product. It's one of our favorites. And it's something that the whole family can take. So I know some of you may be thinking that this isn't for you. And I really want to challenge you to think about other people. Who do you know that needs to sleep better? That was me, major insomniac before Plexus. I was only sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night. Who do you know that needs more energy to keep up with their kids or with their work or to exercise? Who do you know that needs help regulating stomach issues? What about someone who would love to stay home with their kids? Or they just want a date night with their spouse, that they don't want to have to, scrimp and save to go out to a movie and dinner once a month. Or, do you know anyone who wants to pay off some debt? I just want you to consider, take a moment, think about it. What if this opportunity could change everything. It's less than $35. Because for all of us on this call, Plexus has changed everything. It has completely transformed our lives. And we are so grateful to God that grateful to God that He put Plexus into our lives. And we are grateful that all of you were able to come here and join us tonight. We know y'all are all busy, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to spend this call with us. And thank you to everyone who invited people to share this opportunity with them, because we know that you have their best interest at heart. So Devyn, thank you so much, and thank you to Kayla and Amanda for sharing a bit about your Plexus testimonial with us, and I hope everyone has a great night. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Bye!
All right, thank you.